I think as you get a bit older, like, you know, I'm getting on a bit now, I think you become more aware of time. Like, I was never, as a youngster, I was never thinking about how much time there is left. You think you've got all the time in the world when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s even, you know. But actually, you realise that time is short. It speeds up as well, that's the thing. So just go for it, you know. Just really go for what you want to do.
Camera.
Rolling.
Rolling.
Do I look fat? Yeah, no. Hi, I'm Alan, and my what do? I do film, photography, music, just general content creation. I would say, in today's terminology, and I capture, I record, I sort of archive events and things that have happened throughout my life. It just seems to come naturally somehow. I got my degree as an architect. I went on and worked in the industry for a while. It was a bit of a rocky relationship. It wasn't something that I really enjoyed. It was sort of soul destroying, and I couldn't exist in that environment. You've asked me before, how did I make that switch from architecture back to the music? It was just a case of going back to what I was loving doing, you know. I had a couple of #1 hits in the dance world. I had a dance hit in Britain with Judy Cheeks' "So in Love, the Real Deal," which was, you know, nice. And then in America we had a track which I co-wrote with Mick Walsh called "Set Me Free," and that went on to be #1 in the dance chart in Billboard I can't remember what year, you have to look that up, but it was a shame because the record was huge in America, and then they were going to release it in Europe, but it never got released here, and I had no idea how successful it was until we went to Miami and we sat down with some friends that we'd met in Miami, and they introduced us to some other people that arrived. We all sat outside on this big table outside this cafe, and this complete stranger sat down next to me and said, "So Alan, what kind of music do you write?" And at that moment, the track came on the speakers outside this cafe. It was like, that was my track. And I went, well, this is one of mine. And he just went, "Oh my God, that's my favourite record. They play it 3 times a night on Fire Island or something." You know, it was ridiculous, the timing of it. So I was like, yeah. But it never got released here. So it was a shame. And, you know, I think I got a couple of grand from it, but that was it really. It was all a bit of a rock and roll, you know, story, another rock and roll story. There's so much luck involved in the music industry. You know, you can be so close to sort of big success and it can suddenly disappear or vaporise. And I've learnt that over the years, so I don't get too excited about things until the money's in the bank, basically. I came across this actually in the last couple of days while we've been moving stuff around in the house, and it's a box full of lots of kind of odds and ends and bits and pieces. Like this sort of thing, I was trying to overlay bits of film. I took a picture of a little pocket watch and a wheelchair. I was trying to experiment doing compositing, really. This was in the toilets at the Market Tavern in London. These people are no longer with us. That's me. As a youngster in my early 20s, you know, I had a gang of friends that were all on the gay scene, you know, and they were just literally dying one a week. And so every week we were going to a different funeral, and then, you know, I'd be in a room full of people like this at the after party after the funeral, and we'd all be thinking the same thing, thinking who's not going to be here next week, you know. And it was horrible. It affected my work and it affected where I lived. You know, I've seen people drop dead of AIDS. I've seen people commit suicide. People were dropping like flies. You know, literally, I lost about 25 friends. You know. Yeah, I think the AIDS crisis helped me make decisions about how to live my life. Definitely. Like, for example, with all that loss, with all those people that you lost, you sort of, I personally made that sort of decision. I've got to just live my life a little bit extra for those people in their memory. I mean, I can feel it now. You know, sort of the emotions there. I can feel it. So it's yeah. You have to kind of carry on in their name a little bit. Just live your life the way you fucking want to live it. You know, don't let anyone tell you what to do. You know, with the world as it is, you don't have time to think like that anymore. I think you've got to do what you want to do, make the most of this moment, because, you know, tomorrow might never come. And if that's one thing you can take away from this film, then please take it, you know.